Hi guys, welcome. I'm Nikki Fogden-Moore and this is a Monday Mojo. It's actually really late here and I wanted to send a little message out on what is getting in the way of so many people just being completely happy in the now and actually keeping their wealth, keeping their health and keeping their relationships. So today's live, or whenever you're watching this, is what is the biggest obstacle to happiness? I'm going to tell you what that secret is. Now, if you haven't already followed, liked, subscribed, and done all the usual stuff, I'd really appreciate it. Today's message is really, really important because it keeps getting people in the way of absolutely having the life that they're always dreaming of having that complete, utter sense of abundance, what I call replete, that has been in flow state. No matter what's going on around you, there is always a solution. There is always a way to get through it. But for some reason, we love to pick up the heavy baggage. We love to pontificate how things have to be hard or how someone else is going to respond, or we're constantly disappointed by other people's behaviors and why things aren't working out. And while we're doing all of that stuff, we're absolutely missing out on what is right in front of us, and that is absolutely living the life that you have right now, regardless of what is going on, taking care of your side of the street. So what is the biggest obstacle to happiness? It's the pursuit of perfection. It is that when this happens, I'll feel better. When that person tells me they love me, when this deal comes in, when I get this dream house, when, I suddenly get awarded something or validated something, or I get the best partner or whatever it is, we're always waiting for something to feel happy. And that is missing the complete point of what this whole woke society is going on about, which is absolutely being happy in yourself. So that sense of self-leadership, that sense of being grounded, of not feeling stressed, of feeling secure in yourself, of understanding your skills, your personality, your vibrancy, of not apologizing for what you want your life to look like. All very, very valid points, correct? The issue is that when we're actually asked to define what a great life looks like, or what I always ask my clients to do is define your vital ingredients. What are your non-negotiables? What are the things that will have you be the CEO of your life? I've written about it for decades. I'm going to keep saying it. The issue is that once people actually start to try and articulate that, they come up against a series of procrastinations or yeah buts. Oh, I'd really love to do that, but oh, I couldn't think of anything better than that, however. And we already cut ourselves off from the pursuit of even being able to articulate what a great life looks like. How does that feel for you? What does healthy feel like for you? What does a good day feel like for you? They're very, very simple things, but we've become so caught up in having to have things a certain way, having to do a certain turnover, having to make decisions once we get further down the line. And I want to give you a little message today, which is, what if this was it? What if exactly how you feel today, what if the trajectory of the life that we're on today, what if all the things and the skills that you have, would you be happy? Because the most important thing is being happy with exactly what you have right now. And that is the secret to success, that no matter what trajectory you're on, no matter what vision and goals, no matter what you're going through, whether it's losing someone, gaining something, maybe you're going to propose to someone, who knows what's going on in your life right now, but that you feel calm and still and replete in any given moment. And that, I think, is the art of self-leadership, and the real art of success in being the CEO of your life is understanding that you have to swap perfection for progress. You have to swap fear for curiosity. And when you come from a curiosity mindset, the world turns into the most amazing kaleidoscope of colors, of potential, of possibility. But when you come from a perfection mindset and a mindset of, things can go wrong, and risk, blame, shame, guilt, and avoidance, then all you're going to manifest is a problem series of events that are coming through. So you think about, I call this categorically, and it's in my new book, Your Pizza Order. So what you think about, you bring about. We all know this. We read this everywhere. It's all over every single self-help guru, every single author, life coach. We're all saying the same thing. But what I really want to tell you is how to do that daily, unequivocally, unwaveringly, that you actually feel that you have the self-sufficiency, regardless of what's going on around you, to come back to yourself and to harness that feeling that no matter what is happening, you're already happy, because you're happy inside yourself. You're understanding what makes you tick. You're understanding that this is an absolute gift that we have to be sitting here, us listening to each other while I'm doing all the talking, and realize that we are alive. We have a choice. Now, the other thing is, if you can get up and walk properly, if you can go for a run, if you can open your fridge, if you can buy pretty much what you want to do, and if you can do everything without restriction, then add on to that more happiness and appreciation and gratitude. We've become so disassociated from what really should connect us in life, such as, long hot showers, nature, freedom to make decisions, the ability to jump in your car and fill it up with petrol without thinking about it. Having a dog or having children, having your friends around you. We have so much in our enriched lives, but so far we're constantly feeling anxious and unhappy. And that's just not good enough. What I want to do today is encourage you to take full responsibility for what are you watering in your brain? What thoughts are you telling yourself? What problem thinking are you creating to make things more of an obstacle or heavier than they need to be? What perfection are you seeking? When is it that you've decided that when all these things come together, you will be happy? Because that is the one thing that is holding you back from actually being happy in this absolute present moment when you are here listening to this. Now, you don't need to go to the hills and become a Buddhist monk. You don't need to go and meditate for 50 hours a day. You don't need to do 7 ice baths to recover this information either. You actually just need to be honest with yourself and realize that most of you watching this right now, you have the realm of possibilities in front of you. You have the capabilities to do whatever you want. You have the options to do whatever you want. But the question is, are you willing to show up for yourself? Are you willing to step up for yourself? Are you willing to put aside the stories, oh yes I would, but, or that person isn't doing this so I can't, or I'm really disappointed, or whatever. We have all made mistakes. We have all done things, said things, made decisions that we regret, because that is how you learn. You learn from experiences. You learn, your DNA gets warped into all these things that make you who you are because of the life's experiences that you've gone through. Now, you have the choice if you want to bring through the heavy and make that define your future, or if you want to learn from those things and dare to define your own forecast for what next looks like. And in the meantime, realize and be aware that it is possibly the conversations that you're having with yourself. It's the toughness, it's the criticism, it's the judgment, it's never feeling enough, it's never enough, they're not enough, all this kind of lack mentality that is absolutely pulling you away from being the most happiest in any moment in any given day. Now, listen, I work exceptionally long hours. Lately, I've been working the craziest hours. I keep thinking I'm going to fall over at the end of it, but I weave into these days some really vital ingredients for me that make me so grateful, whether it's good coffee, hugging Roxy, getting some sunshine. The neighborhood always knows that I'm out there doing my walk and talks on the phone. I just show up and do my best. It might not be perfect. It might not suit everyone else. I might have to go to a birthday event and come home because I've got a 14-year-old Labrador that needs me, but I'm not afraid to say that. I'm completely happy doing the very best I can. Now, the thing that unlocked for me was giving myself permission to access all the intelligence that was there, to access all the energy that was there, and to stop apologizing because other people felt uncomfortable with who I might be or how I wanted to live my life or the decisions that I was making. I've got a really, really good quote, and I always use it: unless you're paying my bills, you don't have an opinion. And I think most importantly, we always look outside validation for what we should do, and we're asking questions. We don't have enough trust and enough self-leadership to be able to back ourselves. Not every decision has to be perfect. Not every decision is going to work out, but you actually have to be in your life. The biggest obstacle, I'll repeat again, is the pursuit of perfection. It is stopping you from enjoying relationships that you could probably have, because you've probably got this list of what this dream person looks like. It's idealizing certain things without realizing that what you have around you is already so magical, that we have so much to be grateful for, but we're never happy. This is a billion dollar industry: stress, anxiety, and burnout. It's one I've been writing about for decades. We need to stop trying to put an old operating system onto this new landscape. You actually have to take personal accountability to slow yourself down and go, How am I going to show up in this world? What am I going to be grateful for? And how am I going to carry myself through the day with grace and integrity? Because nobody else is responsible for your behavior, and you are not responsible for theirs. When we start to get upset about how other people respond to us, or we get disappointed in their behavior, if you're not willing to have an honest conversation and say to someone, listen, I really took that the wrong way, or that kind of offended me. If you're not willing to have an honest conversation about your feelings with someone, then why would you stay angry and resentful and bear this grudge against someone's behavior if they've given no opportunity to even apologize or say, I didn't even realize I was doing that, I'm so sorry. So we love to sit in misery. We love to say, oh, that happened and it makes me feel terrible, and then I can't do this and I can't do that. You've got to get over it faster. It's the 10-90 rule, which is, do you want to be a victim? Do you want life to do things to you? Do you want to be too afraid, or do you want to wait till something's perfect? The answer to all those things should be no, 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 and no. Do you want to just have a go at things? Do you want to dare to define what great looks like? Do you want to actually live your life feeling that when you wake up in the morning, even if things aren't perfect, they're downright beautiful and you can be grateful for them? Yes, yes, and yes. And you know how you make that happen? You shift your perspective. That's the only thing. Nobody else can do this thinking for you. Nobody else can put you in a glass box with all the things that you want. You have to make that reality yours from the inside out. When you start to take that self-leadership, when you start to own your own behavior instead of projecting criticism onto others, when you start to understand and align with your subconscious instead of telling yourself off constantly, everything will shift. So stop being so tough on yourself. Stop having expectations and projections and criticism and judgment, and actually give yourself a pat on the back and look around you and think, wow, you know what? This life is pretty amazing. This life has anything I want. In the past, I can look back and I've realized that I've actually achieved so much. Give yourself a pat on the back. Go for progress, not perfection. And it doesn't matter if you've stuffed up in the past before. It doesn't matter if you've maybe made some mistakes, as long as you've learned from those things. Because when you learn from those things, you can grow. And when you're constantly growing, when you're constantly evolving, when you're constantly being curious, and when you're constantly learning, boy, does that become an interesting landscape. But if you're rigid in your thinking, you're hanging on to all the baggage, you're constantly complaining, blaming, and shaming, then that is a life that's going to be very toxic. It's going to be very heavy. You might get some big wins, but chances are you'll lose it at the same time. Your relationship with yourself won't be as good, and therefore your relationship with others won't blossom as well. So I challenge you at the moment when you're listening to this video, wherever you are in the world, at whatever time this pops up, leave me a comment or a question and let me help you unlock moving from stuck to possibility, from fear to curiosity. If I can do it with everything going on, you can do it too. I'm just the same. We have the same number of hours in a day. It's to do with what your perspective is. And you've got to listen to yourself and say, where am I procrastinating? Where have I stopped following through? Where am I always making excuses? Where am I always projecting? Oh yeah, Nikki, I would love to do that, but. So if you're continuously saying yeah, but, then you're only holding yourself back from the potential of what you could be designing for the life that you want, but also more importantly, the feeling that you have as you make that your reality, the feeling that you have as you get up each day, even if you're tired, if you're working your ass off, if you're trying to do a million things, but when you let go of perfection and you're just in the journey and you're suited up and you've got your seatbelt on and you're there at the driver's seat and you're ready for whatever conditions are coming, then suddenly life becomes really interesting. And if you can shift to that, if you can get in that driver's seat, which is something I would love to help you to do, reach out or get the course, the book, or follow more videos, whatever it is, I just want to tell you, let go of perfection. Look for progress, look for curiosity. Practice that gratitude, because that gratitude will compound itself beyond what you ever imagined. And the only difference is you actually have to follow through. You actually have to retrain that brain. You have to take all the inspiration that you keep reading from different books and different gurus and wonderful posts on Instagram, and I would say tune all of that out and just do the work yourself, because then it'll show up in the results instantly. So I'm Nikki Fogden-Moore. This is a live for 5. It's probably like 10 minutes now. Who knows? I always go over time. On Monday Mojo, I'm about to send out my Monday Mojo email. Most importantly, I just want to leave a message to say, stop being so tough on yourself. You got this. You're amazing. You're powerful. You're awesome. We're all so different, and that is what makes this world so magical. And when you can accept that and embrace that and kind of allow that enthusiasm to run through everything in your life, that is a radical result, and that will have you feeling full of gratitude and appreciation and hanging on to your money and hanging on to your wealth and hanging on to your friendships, because all you're doing is showing up in the best way that you can each day, and that's all you have to ask of yourself. So I'm Nikki Fogden-Moore. This is the Mojo Maker little updates. You can come follow me on Instagram at nfogdenmoore, on nikkifogdenmoore.com. I hope that some of you listening to this are coming to the Legacy Lunch on Friday, the 28th of April. All the details are on my website, and most importantly, please like, share, and comment. I love your feedback. I really hope someone that was listening to this today, a little bit of a nugget of information to remove that obstacle for happiness, to let go of perfection, have your goal, but enjoy the journey along the way. So until next time, have a great evening or day when you're listening to this, and thank you for tuning in. See you later.